gentlemen, welcome to our bonus episode with Chill Boys, Carlos and Raspas. Carlos, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Got the new Zenny frames. Not sponsored. You guys can't sponsor either me alone, both of us, me and both of us. Options are plentiful, Zenny.
I've realized I did not say, Carlos, are you ready? I just said I'm starting recording in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I'm always ready.
But
I'm like Matt Cardona.
We are actually we said last time we were going to do bonus episodes for our predictions, so it wouldn't be long, and then we spent an hour and a half doing the episode. So try to keep this one shorter. We're doing it in reverse this time. I think we did our predictions after our regular episode. We're actually doing a prediction first this time around. So we're going to try to run
Dynamite
through
just
it.
got done, so we got some updates.
Yeah. We have a very special episode. Episode 81 will be later, which will be weird because this is going to get released afterwards. So hopefully
nothing big happened.
Yeah. Hopefully you listened to episode 81 already, because this will probably launch at about Saturday, this episode. But on that note, I don't want to go too into other stuff, because we'll get into that episode. So, this is our Revolution 2022 prediction episode. So, I just got broken to me that they've already announced the pre-show. From Carlos right before we started here. So, I'm going to get right into it, because my time management skills is awful. So let's start here. Yeah, and I figure as we get down the card on certain matches, we're going to spend more time than I expect. So right now we can kind of run through it. So you told me, so if this is wrong, blame Carlos. Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander, which I watched one of the promos on Dynamite earlier, and I was like, oh, are they going to have that on Rampage? Like, they seem to be leading up to something.
That's what I was thinking, too. Yeah. But at least according to Wikipedia, could be right.
And they could be guessing, maybe, but it would make sense to be on the pre-show, which is a right time to do a payoff like that instead of just on a random Dynamite, because that's been building up for some time now. So, Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander, who do you have in that?
Statlander. I mean, I think she did mention something about, like, Layla Hirsch, like, her parents leaving her, or dying or something. And I was like, wow, that's pretty messed up. I don't know. For an alien, that's kind of cruel, man. Supposed to be better than us. Right. No, Chris is going to win. I think she's going to start building her back up, maybe toward the TBS title.
All right. I want to go with Layla Hirsch, because I think Layla Hirsch is underutilized. But
yeah, she's good, too.
But good. Pre-shows, typically, face goes over. So if this happened to find its way onto the main show, I wouldn't be surprised to see Layla Hirsch win, but I'm going to stick with Statlander and not get too wordy with it. Statlander's going to win.
That's it.
So the main event of the pre-show, I'm assuming, Hook versus QT Marshall.
Listen, man, this is going to be a hard-fought battle. It could go... No, it's not going to go either way. It's going to be Hook.
This is one of those swerves of all swerves.
If QT beats him, I swear to God.
It'd be hilarious. It would be absolutely hilarious if QT won, but Hook's going to win. He's going to embarrass him. I'm assuming...
Yeah, QT's smart. He's going to put him over.
And I'm assuming you'll probably see him take out a lot. Like, QT will probably have help, and you'll just watch Hook destroy everybody and then finally destroy QT. I wouldn't even doubt that you get some type of Taz.
Kind of. That'd be cool.
Because QT kind of called him out. What was that, last Friday, I think, when he came out?
I always magically hope, and this is not to be rude towards Taz, he's just an older dude, that he just, like, been wearing, like, a fat suit for, like, about a year. He's like, I'm trained, brother. Let's go.
He was
and just, like,
built.
rips it off. He's got, like, the singlet on.
I feel like
puts the towel on.
Forever he was built like a bowling ball, though. So, like, it's not like...
Yeah. When he started wearing pants in WWE, it was like, uh-oh.
All right. So, there you go. That's the pre-show for Revolution. So, until next time... Oh, wait. So, now we get to the main show here. And I have an order that I'm going to go by. So your Wikipedia.
I have all the. It's technically out of order.
So I'm going to start with what I think we'll talk about the least. 6-man tornado tag team match. You have Andre El Idolo Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy versus Darby Allin, Sting, and Sammy Guevara. So, who do you got in that?
Yeah. Darby, Sting, and Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think they're building something with Matt, obviously. He walked away similar to his brother. That person still is under contract.
Until next Wednesday. And I'm going to also go on your side. And you're going to likely see friction between Matt and Isaiah and him probably walk out on them, causing Cassidy to lose, because that'll probably be the Hardys' first feud. Will be against Private Party.
I'm down with that. That's definitely going to be fun.
I'm just curious, which way do you go? The El Idolo part of this, it kind of murkies things when it comes to that, because I assumed you're going to have a heel Hardy Boys team. You know what? That's going to be hard to make them heels, though. That's probably why they did it. You know what? I'm thinking about that now that it's coming out of my mouth. I'm thinking it's going to be hard. So you almost need to put El Idolo with Private Party to keep Private Party as the heels.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's seen, like, it's funny. A lot of people haven't seen Jeff in a heel role unless you watched Impact or or TNA when it was before it was Impact.
Right.
I think everyone's fresh in the memory of Jeff as a face and always been a face, which more often than not he is.
Right.
So I think you're right. I think this breaks up the AHFO. Andrade's not taking the pin. Isaiah takes the pin. Yeah. Andrade's pissed, and who gives the pin? I guess that's the fun thing. Darby.
I think.
Or Sammy.
I think Sting. You see Sting in the matches so little. I wouldn't doubt that he ends up pinning Cassidy. That's if I had to guess who pins who.
What's the time with Andrade and Sting?
I also didn't think about this. We're talking about the AHFO. I could see Andrade just cutting bait on Private Party, like saying, you know what I mean? Like, this is like a way for him and then this kind of gives him Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah.
As like I don't know who else is a part of AHFO. I feel like whoever's not doing something is a part of them.
There's an Indian guy in there. I forget. Raja, is that his name? Maybe. He's on Dark a lot.
Again, we spent way too much time talking about this.
Yeah.
So on that note, we both tend to agree with it. So we will go to another match that we'll probably be pretty quick on. The TBS Championship match with Jade Cargill and Ty Conti. Who do you have there?
Jade. Yeah. I think she's going to stay dominant. They do a really good job of like holding the belts on champions for a while. They don't really hot swap. Not that it would be a hot swap if she were to lose right now. She's had a decent title reign time frame wise, and she's in it for the long haul. She ain't going nowhere. So she'll win that belt again if that were the case. But I think it's going to be Jade. I think it's going to be a longer match, similar to... Who did Jade wrestle a few weeks back on Dynamite? That was like, I was shocked that was a longer match than that wasn't just a squash.
Was that Anna Jay?
No, it was somebody newer. Maybe part of Booker T's reality or wrestling thing.
Oh, okay.
One of the I think it was her or something like that. It was like a longer match. It was like someone that hasn't been really featured on AEW.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I hope that this match is at least that length.
Right.
I think Ty's gonna look cool. I'm excited to see what kind of crazy makeup she has.
Yeah.
I'm now, thanks Tara, I'm just now into makeup. So I follow AEW Glam.
Yeah. I mean I agree too. I think Ty Conti is a good person to have Jade go over to kind of legitimize the title reign there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Ty Conti might eventually be a TBS champion.
They will, yeah. She's going to be a champion, either main or TBS down the line. 100%.
I mean, although
but just Jade is just so powerful.
Her winning it right now, and Sammy and her walking around with the TNT and TBS championship might be too much to pass up. For
that's true. And to say this is one of those matches. If it goes the other way, I'm really happy. Not upset at all.
Yeah.
Again, Jade's going to be champion again. It's good for Ty to win it.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a shock for shock value kind of thing. It would be one of those things.
No, she's capable.
I think the crowd would get behind it, but yeah, this is one of those ones. That's why I had it in the top. And actually, we discussed this more than I even thought too.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, but yeah, I think we both agreed it's Jade.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we can get a little bit more into the meat of the card, and we got Chris Jericho against Eddie Kingston. I feel like the meat of the card kind of that wasn't even intentional.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Eddie. I don't know how they do this though, and I will shout out Mark. Got Mark 76. He mentioned like what's up with Proud and Powerful, because spoilers, they fist bumped Jericho at this last Dynamite, the go home Dynamite. Do they turn on Chris?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, but Chris is the bad guy, so is that a double turn then? Because you have to make Chris the good guy.
First of all, one, you could do this the right way, and I think the right way is Jericho keeps beating up Kingston to the point,
even after.
Not even after winning. I think Kingston wins. I think you get to the point.
I think that as well.
Where he's like, he has a chance to beat him and lifts his shoulder up, does the really heelish things. Like, no, I'm going to beat you into it. Yeah, I'm going to beat you into it. And then it's going to, it's almost going to force turn Proud and Powerful to the point where they're like, we can't see this happen no more. And then
that's our boy.
They do something to help Eddie win. Not like in a just distraction, whatever. They do something. Hit him with
fucking oranges and shit.
Or one of those things where, they get up and like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Jericho's like screaming at him, saying, know your place or something. That's what I'm saying. You can get Jericho full-blown heel, and I just see like one of them pushing him and then Kingston rolling him up and then winning that way. And then it's like, all right, well, Kingston has one over on him. Now Proud and Powerful head that way.
Gone. Yeah.
You got Jericho back in that heel role, which Hager's in is his best spot, and because I'm assuming that's the only person that would be with him. Sammy probably split out then too.
I think he needs to as well.
Yeah,
I think it's time for Sammy to be on his own. And then you know what? You have this woman on the women's roster, Diamante.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we just make LAX again.
Yeah, that's what I'm hopeful out of it, and that would be cool. And you don't have to do that right away. No. You don't have to.
Yeah, because she's still a heel. We got to make her good.
Yeah.
We would have to turn her. Yeah, she's still heel.
I assumed this was going to be an Eddie Proud and Powerful heel turn. So the fact that they let Jericho go full blown heel, and honestly, it's the best place for it, because look at the tag division right now, and you have Jurassic Express, who are the champions, who are the good guys, but then you have Red Dragon, you have Young Bucks, you have FTR. You have 2.0.
It's mostly heels.
You start running down the list, and then Proud and Powerful, who had to be good guys because Inner Circle turned into good guys, but they run that fringe a little bit at times, and now this keeps them on the babyface side without. Once Jericho started acting super heelish during this, I kind of was on the mindset that this is going to be a. But yeah, either Jericho wins, beats the hell out of him, and Proud and Powerful turns, or Kingston wins purely because Jericho's just trying to beat the hell out of him and not win.
But his own worst enemy.
But I'll go with Kingston too. I feel like this is set up for Kingston to win. He's lost too many big.
I think he needs a win.
Pay-per-view matches like as of late, and this is considered big in that. As much as I think Jericho is. Featured too much now. Like I
don't mind his position on the card, especially if Eddie goes over. I don't in this sense.
It's a little bit. Now Jericho is better than Cody Rhodes in every way possible, but
we're doing this. No.
But I'm saying, I think sometimes I hate that his matches, which are meant to be more mid card, early card, where it almost is viewed as like, but they're wrestling Chris Jericho. It doesn't matter where you're at in the card. And I get they have to do stuff like that, but at times that bothers me a little bit because I'm like, it's a 60-year-old Chris Jericho, though. Like, it's like saying I got a match one-on-one with Sting,
Not undisputed champion.
And I beat him.
I beat Stone Cold and The Rock in the same night. Chris Jericho. Yeah, that's fair.
So it's always borderline with me, but I don't want to go too far off there. So next match we have is Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley.
Yeah,
and that was well done for those of you that see Dynamite with, and well, I guess now our episode would have already been out. The news has been out that Tony Khan bought ROH, and that was the big news. And we got Christopher Daniels against.
I'm just saying we called
Bryan
it.
Danielson. Yeah. It was
episode.
the best news out there. Honestly, out of all the rumors, the HBO Max one was interesting, but it wouldn't have changed the game forever the way they were making it out.
And this conversation obviously will be expanded on in the previous episode, which you'll see.
Yeah, but I love that lead in of Moxley after the match. I guess is what I'm saying. I think this has been very well done, and it still has me confused on. I feel like they could go a lot of different ways here. It's such a flip of the coin. So I'm going to ask you and see where you're at.
I think it's going to be Moxley. But like in defeat, Danielson's going to win. You know what I mean? Like it's going to, because it's a storyline thing. He loses, that's fine. He's all beat up and broken, but he did something to Moxley that's like he's like, oh, I'm turning you around.
Right.
You're going to be on my side by the end of this. And he's like beaten, bloody, and broken. It's like, the classic DC, like Joker. He's like smiling at the end, even though he got all his fucking teeth kicked in.
Yeah, that's where I'm so like, Danielson really hasn't lost in AEW. Other than the loss to Hangman. He hasn't really lost, and even then it was like over the top. It's just
over the referee.
I have a hard time seeing Danielson losing, but I have a hard time seeing Moxley lose. I can see Moxley realizing that Danielson had awful intentions and not join him at the end. I can see Moxley joining him in the end.
Especially if Kingston's going off on his own with Power and Powerful. This could play a factor.
And it would make things interesting, too, because Moxley, no matter how much they push him as the good guy, he's always been a tweener in the sense that, like, he's a good guy that does bad things. So now you can put him with a bad guy who does good things. And Danielson, like, it's like a weird dynamic. It would be interesting. It keeps them both out of the main title picture a little bit.
Yeah, there's only a few wrestlers who can pull that Stone Cold in-betweener thing really well, and it's Moxley, Danielson, and Owens over at WWE. Yeah, and that's honestly it. For me. I can't think of anyone else really.
Would keep things fresh too, because what if they join? Moxley beats them. They join together. And then as Moxley's building his way for the title, like you run the whole WWE thing. They win the tag titles. Moxley's going for the WWE or the AEW title, and then Danielson costs them. No, Danielson costs them. You know what I mean? Okay. Like one of those things where like. He's talking about how he can elevate Moxley, but in reality, he starts getting jealous of him, or how the other way around. Who knows? I feel like that's where they're kind of going with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
Pull the 2-man power trip too for a little bit. You can also pull that Stone Cold Triple H storyline.
Yeah, but they can keep him out of the title. They can keep him in it. There's a lot of stuff that can go there. But so you're going with Danielson?
No, Moxley.
Moxley.
Okay. I said Danielson wins in storyline because like he got what it got it out of Moxley.
I want to pick Danielson because I think it's a coin flip and because you just picked Moxley, but I'm also going Moxley. So I'm going to actually. Well, now we can run through this one pretty quick too. Face of the Revolution ladder match, which at the time right before this, I still thought there was 2 TBDs, but. You said you seen that Ethan Page and Christian Cage had been added to the matches of the last 2, which is a tad bit disappointing. There was a lot of I would have almost rather not known that and have them be it, because a lot of people would hope that there was at least going to be one surprise. There's a lot of names out there, and this is not the type of thing where we needed to see a Cesaro, but a Swerve would have been a cool. Almost like how Leo Rush was and stuff like that.
It's apparently he signed too.
Yeah.
Like
So
he kind of retweeted Sean Ross Sapp's thing.
So like I thought that would have been a cool add-on. Ethan Page I weirdly thought was going to be in it, and I was surprised they didn't announce it because remember the whole him, Dan Lambert, and Scorpio Sky, and Scorpio Sky talks about how he didn't get his match, and Dan Lambert said he's been, Tony Khan told him that he's going to get the match first. But either way, we have them two. Before I get into my prediction there, because I was just about to, we have Keith Lee, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs,
big meaty man bumping meat,
Ricky Starks, Orange Cassidy, Ethan Page, and Christian Cage. I mean, it's for a ladder match. It's interesting as shit because Keith Lee is what he is. He's a big man that jumps around. Wardlow has shown in the past that he's way more athletic than they allow him to be.
Yeah, he's like the evolution. Yeah. Not even no pun intended. Literally, I didn't even think I was going that way. Wow, the evolution of Batista.
And then you have a guy like Powerhouse Hobbs who will be a lot more of the guy breaking a lot of falls in this match. I feel like he's the guy that's going to take Keith Lee off the ladder because how many other people in their right mind will take Keith Lee landing on him off a ladder. Ricky Starks is what he is, and Orange Cassidy, again, will probably be a bump man and have some fun spots. Christian, he's kind of a wild card in this match because I think it would be cool because he just hasn't really had a whole lot going on. But before I even ask you for prediction, I'm getting into mine because I already kind of got into it. I think Ethan Page wins this match. The writing on the wall has been for a Scorpio Sky Ethan Page split, especially with Dan Lambert and all that stuff was happening. Ethan Page got his match. Scorpio Sky did not. He guaranteed that both guys were going to get it. I could see Dan Lambert going with Ethan Page. He already said whoever wins this match will not get the title shot before Scorpio Sky does. I can see Ethan Page winning, Ethan Page getting the match first, Scorpio Sky being like, what the fuck,
what
dude?
The hell,
like,
man? Yeah.
You said I was going to get it first, and now just because it was Ethan that won it, now Ethan got it. Like, I could see some dissension there. I don't like them as a tag team. I like both of them individually.
Yeah. I do too.
I felt like their tag team's too forced, and I feel like right now, right after Revolution, it starts a whole new thing, which would be nice. A lot of Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky against each other. Dan Lambert stuck in the middle, kind of something out of that is not them just being Dan Lambert.
Scorpio's a good baby face as well.
Who? You said Scorpio?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ethan Page is a good bad
guy.
Yeah.
Freaking villain, yeah.
Yeah. And that could go on for a while.
Looks like a piece of shit.
That could be a very long-term feud, too. So,
yeah.
Especially if they were to do something like put the title on Ethan Page and have Scorpio eventually win it all.
I would like that. I would like that a lot, actually.
Those are two guys that could hold that title, and it would make a lot of sense storyline-wise. So that's my prediction. Who do you have winning this?
This one was hard because I can't think of a storyline. Is it Ethan Page or Christian Cage? Maybe I'm reading that wrong. Maybe Christian has to wrestle. Anyway,
are they wrestling each other? Did I just?
Yeah. Did I miss that too? Yeah.
Come on.
See, this is the problem. With I was trying to recap and put my kids to bed. And you look this up real quick because neither of them are my pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say you go ahead and predict.
My pick is gonna be Ricky Starks. I think it's his time to shine. I think it'd be good. I think Hobbs takes out Lee. I don't know how you take out Wardlow. Maybe Sean Spears interferes because now there's a lot of dissension within the Pinnacle, and MJF smacked the shit out of Wardlow near the end of the show to go home. So I think it's Ricky's time to shine.
Yeah.
Hobbs helps him. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be good.
You read this wrong.
I did read it wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Ethan
Page against Christian on Friday, which would have happened if I'm posting this
literally
Saturday.
Right now.
It would have happened last night, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to go with Ethan Page for win the whole thing. I think Ethan Page beats Christian in this match, and then rides that momentum. But now it's a little bit more tough because Christian in the ladder match would have been nice. But now I think we get Swerve. All right. So who are you predicting as a surprise seventh guy?
Swerve. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it seems like everything's leading.
Yeah,
to that,
I think he fits perfectly. He's a guy that
Yeah.
if he doesn't win, it's not like outrageous.
No.
This would have been a perfect spot had Jeff Hardy been gone like 3 days earlier.
Yes.
This would have been a perfect spot to introduce him, because him losing this doesn't mean that he lost the match, and that would have get a huge pop, and him in ladder matches is what it is. But
it's
right.
literally the best.
Yeah, I should have looked that up when you said that earlier. Like, confirmed it when you were like, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Also, Swerve's been working on new music. Obviously, he uses licensed music on the indies, which is Shaka Khan. I doubt Tony Khan. Tony Khan's pocket is like, yo, I ain't got no money anymore, bro. I spent a lot of money this week. I balled out a little too hard at the club. I don't have enough money.
I mean, it could be an ROH guy too. Right after that happened, and this could lead.
I mean, and
like
also he did just get announced for honor of what the hell's the name of their pay-per-view? Super Card of Honor. Okay. There we go. In April, Swerve's wrestling Alex Zane.
Okay. So. Oh yeah, I did see that. So there you go. I think we're both agreeing. Swerve, you went Ricky Starks. I would love Ricky Starks to win it. I
thought you were gonna go with Ricky. That's
see, I don't know necessarily whoever wins it's gonna win the TNT title. I think Ethan Page winning it and losing the TNT title still furthers him and Scorpio's storyline without the title involved. Where if I thought Sammy was going to go with the title to whoever won this, I would love to go Ricky, but I don't think he's going to. So I don't want to see Ricky Starks go after it and lose, I guess.
That's fair, yeah.
So wow, that was just a real whirlwind, because I thought Christian Cage was in the match, and now we don't know. And we don't even know Ethan Page is in the match.
That's fair.
My prediction legit might not even be in the match.
Yeah, so you might not get any points.
So you went in the safer bet there. All right, so moving on. We now have... I'm going to save this for the next one after what I just seen tonight on Dynamite. And I will go with the tag team, 3-way AEW Tag Team Championship match between Jurassic Express, Red Dragon, and the newly won third team of this match, Young Bucks. I'm going to ask for your winner of the next three. I'm going to get mine out of the way here, because I don't have a whole lot to say about this match, but Jurassic Express, I think, wins. I think this furthers the dissension between Red Dragon and Young Bucks, because they expect a team with each other. Somebody's going to do something. I think this match actually does not go as long as it should. Because
I don't think it's going to be long.
I feel like this is a way to get Red Dragon and Young Bucks in the ring without it being Red Dragon versus Young Bucks. And
for now.
And you needed to have the tag team titles defend it. It's one good team against two bad teams, and I feel like a lot of it's written on the wall that Jurassic Express is almost going to steal the match because of dissension between the two teams. Yeah,
that's my heart wants to say Red Dragon, because they're one of my favorite tag teams ever. Right. I love Fish and O'Reilly. I think they're truly amazing, and I've seen so many of their matches. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jurassic Express. That's literally what I was gonna say. If you asked me what, like, from jump, I would have said Red Dragon. But you made a case, and that case is correct.
I will say this: if Red Dragon wins this match, it completely gives away, I feel like, who wins the main event.
Okay.
I don't see Red Dragon winning the titles without a certain somebody else winning the title, because I feel like that. I feel like with NXT, that was kind of like their deal, was running as like all the champions.
That's true. And something that popped in my head as well is from Tony's media call today at 1 p.m. Of filming, he mentioned that once Omega's back, a trios title is going to be introduced. At some point this year, we're getting trios title.
And well, we definitely, I will say this, for those of you that listen to episode 81, we definitely are going to dig more into that part, the trios. So listen to that and get more of our opinions on that. I don't want to get too far into it, but they already
have a trios title. They bought one.
So we both. I'm glad I convinced you on Jurassic Express. All right, so the match I did skip, and I'm going to make sure I don't accidentally skip it again. I did it on purpose the first time. Dog collar match. CM Punk against MJF. What just happened on Dynamite really makes me. I go to the WWE style booking, and that I try to not use that on AEW predictions, but it's not even WWE style, it's wrestling in general. Wrestling history tells you that if a guy goes over on the show before the pay-per-view,
he's going to lose.
Yeah. I mean,
literally had that conversation with the entrance rep guys.
Right.
Literally, like right before we started filming, Nick goes, I'll pull out the messages real quick because it's hilarious. So because Mark for the longest time was like this storyline is stupid, like what happened last week, which I love the promo.
Right.
It's an amazing promo, but from MJF because it's very heartfelt. But he's like, this is stupid because we all know like MJF is gonna do something and whatever. And then this happened.
Yeah, and that's what made this interesting. Week, I love the fact that it did. I love the fact that it did.
I do too.
Came out now because now it's kind of like the Moxley and Danielson thing, where it goes on so many different avenues. Does MJF pull out the bad side of Punk? Like literally, Punk talking about, am I the bad guy in the story? Am I the good guy? Like like you said, it's almost the Batman Joker thing, reference that you said. That's exactly what this is. It's that, am I the reason you exist? And am I who's to blame here just because of my actions in the past? And then he brings up the whole Jeff Hardy stuff he did and the Undertaker and all, and he brings it up saying like, hey, I've done really, really like vile things in my past and I'm trying to be a better person. And it's like, I want to see MJF win because I want to see heel Punk. And I feel like MJF winning brings heel Punk out. Almost to the point where Punk's like, you know what? No. You haven't seen nothing yet. You think you are like
the devil?
Yeah, I'm the fucking devil. Like I you know what I mean? And I would just it would be a weird dynamic watching a heel Punk against a heel MJF. But
you built them up to be that bad.
Yeah. So like, and maybe you get kind of like you said, like the Stone Cold, where like he's so bad he's good because he's doing bad things to a bad person. But I feel like MJF winning brings out heel Punk in some way. But CM Punk wins.
Yeah. So I'm pulling up the text because Mark has been very, very adamant about what's going on right with this MJF promo since last week, and he's like, this is telegraphed. Like He's like 40. He's like, I've seen wrestling through all this stuff. Like, you can't fool me. I've been around longer than Young Bucks to like me and Nick. Yeah. And I'm part of another Facebook group. And someone was like, hey, that was like his best promo all time. And Mark's like, I don't know how I feel about it. And I was like, listen, this is why it's great. And I had this like soliloquy of what I did, and like Mark's like, oh, you're not upset, right? I'm like, no, I want you to see where I'm seeing this stuff, like the whole. And I think I retweeted there's a Twitter thread that breaks down the storyline so far from like him Punk coming back to all the pertinent details. It's amazing. You should send it to you. Maybe we should post it on the video because it tells a great story, but Mark, for the whole time, he's like, nah, this does not happen. This is not happening. Like, we know who's going to win, whatever, right? So, this is, he gets it, right? So, Mark goes, and that's why I said MJF's promo was overrated. Anyone who didn't see that coming 10 million miles away is a newbie. Fair. There's a lot of new eyes. I argued with Mark with this. I'm like, listen, man, there's a lot of people who don't know wrestling tropes like we do. This is the first time they're experiencing it, and they're experiencing it in the best way possible with two of the best.
Yeah.
So that's fair. That's fair, number one. Two, Nick goes, yeah, I thought the reveal would have been at the pay-per-view, confirms Punk is winning the match, as we mentioned, right? Your brain is tricked to do that. And then Mark goes, but it's a gimmick match. It won't hurt him, So, with that being said, Maxwell Jacob Friedman's winning.
Okay.
He is going to win. They're going to buck trend. This is where everything goes. And every storyline he's had has homages to, like Punk's matches has had homages to previous storylines. And Tiger Driver on Twitter had a great side-by-side of Punk and MJF hugging each other. and then of HBK and Jericho hugging each other from WrestleMania 19. And then what does Jericho do at the end of that match? Kicks him right in the dick.
Yeah.
What did MJF do? Kick him right in the dick. So, but that's after Jericho lost.
Right.
There was no match, and this happened. So, what's gonna happen now? Because we're old as shit in wrestling, it tells us CM Punk's winning. Yeah. He's winning. You said it. The person who goes over the go home show is the person who loses. Punk is here to put over young guys.
Yeah.
MJF is a made man in the wrestling world, but he needs that one decisive win that when you look back at his career, you say he won this match. This was the match that took him to the next level. And it's going to be him being CM Punk for a third time.
I really wanted this to only be 45 minutes. I have a lot of opinions on this match, so hopefully we can run through the other matches. But I should have saved this one for last. I should have known this was going to get more than anything else. I will say I'm going to go to your comments. I said I was going to go back. I'm definitely going back on this. One, I will say, just because it's a trope doesn't mean it's bad. There's good ways of doing it. I am more than happy to know the ending of this story. I'm more than happy to know that MJF was not being sincere. That's fine. The fact of the matter is, when I watched it, I thought even 1% chance that they might have him come out as a good guy at the end. For somebody like me, who again is a huge wrestling fan and knows all those tricks, I got a tad like, hey, they might. Like, he might wait to turn on him for some while. It's a whole him and Cody thing. You knew it was happening, just when's it going to happen? And, oh, wow, I can't believe they did it so early. Well, guess what? They fucking shocked you. That's the whole point. We did not expect that turn to happen tonight. Tonight. We didn't expect that to happen tonight because we expected it to happen in pay-per-view. So it caught us off guard. I think Punk wins because now it gives Punk a win over MJF. I don't think this is the decisive win because it is a dog collar match. It is not a regular match. I think you'll have MJF go over clean to win like the title, and that'll be like his match. You know what I mean? Like, that'll be the first time he didn't need help. You know what I mean? Some kind of singles match, 1-on-1, where he just finally, no tricks, no nothing, no Wardlow, none of that shit. I don't know where they go from there with Punk winning, and that's where one of my things where I'm like, I don't know where you go from there. I don't expect to see them to continue this, but if Punk wins, it can continue it. I know the whole hint is that you might finally get Wardlow against Punk, or not Punk, MJF down the line.
That's what I was thinking.
And they hinted a little bit tonight with it, with MJF
smacking the shit out of him.
But that's not the first time this has happened where Wardlow starts to get out of line and MJF puts him in his place, and then things are... But I can easily see Punk winning, offering to pay Wardlow whatever MJF's paying him. You know, and then it continues a Punk MJF with Wardlow mixed in, where that whole will he or won't he is a little bit more, because now Punk's actually wooing him, Punk's paying him, or something like that.
Something to get his attention.
Yeah, it's stuff. But I
and then Wardlow beating the shit out of both of them, be like, I'm better than all of you.
We've been over this with WWE, and I will say this with every wrestling show. I know they cater more to the hardcore fan than AEW, but hardcore fans will continue to watch. Like you said, you have new eyes on it, and that's what you want. You want the people who don't normally watch wrestling to see it and be like, oh shit, like, why is he being so mean to this guy who he just walked out when he was a kid? Like, MJF's a bad guy, but I get it now. Like,
I've mentioned it before. The new eyes don't necessarily mean children as well. I mean, an editor over IGN.
I mean, it still made me be like, hey, he has a heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I knew what was
because that's
happening.
a sincere promo, and then you go on Instagram and you see, I follow the Wrestling Classic, and he's like, "No, this is legit. This is the message Max sent me years ago."
Right.
You know, all this stuff, and then like I said, the trope is fine. Like, there are new eyes to the product. Like I mentioned, Rebecca Valentine from IGN. She's an amazing writer. So if you love games, follow her. I love seeing her tweets every Wednesday because for some reason she started watching wrestling. Now, her and like one of the other best writers in gaming, Imran Khan, her boyfriend, have like pizza, wings, beer, and watch Dynamite every Wednesday. And I'm like enthralled. I'm like, you guys are top of your game in your field. And I'm like, hey, real quick. Hi, my name's Carlos. I want to join your field. Let me teach you guys about wrestling real quick. And I break stuff down for them, and they like it, and they respond back.
Yeah.
This is new for them. This is a new field for them.
Yeah.
And you're learning the trope from a master. Listen, I just watched Scream 5 last night. Were there stuff that were tropes? Yes. But because the people who were in charge of that movie knew to do it and just change just a little stuff, doesn't make the trope any better or worse. Yeah. Actually, they're listening. This is what happens in movies. We're going to tell you, we're going to telegraph it. It's going to happen. We can play with your expectations a little bit. And that's what this is.
Yeah.
So either way, I'm down. MJF loses, I'm happy. CM Punk loses, I'm happy. Right. This storyline has been amazing.
Yeah. So you go MJF, I go Punk.
Yeah, I'm going
so there's
MJF.
All right. So let's run through these next two. I think the pre-show stuff kind of put us back a little bit. And that one, I should have just expected that one. I should have just put that one last. I don't know why I thought. Another one I wanted to dig into a little bit, but we don't really have to. Britt Baker against Thunder Rosa for the Women's Championship. The storyline writes itself. The whole dark match, I know, or not dark match, the lights out match that happened. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have an issue with the setup of this, but this didn't need a setup. And we had talked about this previously. When this happens, it's going to happen out of nowhere because it can. It's got a built-in story. You don't need to rehash it. It is what it is. So who do you have in this match?
Thunder Rosa.
Yeah. Again, it's hard for me to get break out of that fan that's watched for years. I literally switched my vote on Dynamite tonight. I switched it. I switched both of them. I switched from MJF to Punk, and I'll switch from Thunder Rosa to Britt Baker because Thunder Rosa pinned Britt Baker in the tag team match tonight, and she beat her in the lights out match. Now she pinned her in the tag match when Britt Baker went on this thing about how you haven't actually pinned me because that didn't count. You haven't really pinned me. It's kind of like who just, dude, I was at the match at Battle of the Belts. I want to say Sheeta. It's not Sheeta. Who was the first? Rio. Never pinned Britt Baker. Rio pinned Britt Baker finally. Or on. No. Britt Baker never pinned Rio. I'm sorry. Then Rio had that whole Thanksgiving thing where she could win the feast or whatever, and then beat Britt Baker. And then I think she pinned Britt Baker again in a tag team match. And it was like, all right, Britt Baker's obviously going to win because now she finally got that pin. I think it's that same thing where it was like Thunder Rosa could have had that moment, but now she just pinned her in a match.
Fair. And then Britt has the numbers, right? She does have Reba Rebel.
Yeah.
And Jamie Hayter. So that could play a factor.
And Thunder's got Mercedes on her back now too. But this is gonna go with the whole if Red Dragon wins and stuff. Britt Baker and the next my next prediction.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would stick with Britt Baker. You have Rosa. I was on the Rosa fence, and I told you when Rosa goes after this title, she will win it.
I was convinced, man. That's why I picked Rosa. I was like, you know what? You sold me on that one. Yeah, it's definitely going to happen.
You know what? No. I won't fall for that old thing. I'm going to go back to my original. I should stay with my gut. And my CM Punk and MJF, I was not sure, and I wanted to see how that played out. I told you a long time ago Thunder Rosa was going to be the next women's champion, and she was going to do it against Britt Baker at the next pay-per-view. I said that the latest pay-per-view. I said, when's the next one? She's going to do
whenever
they
pull that trigger, that's the one.
So I'm going to stick with that. I think there's been hints of Tony starting new storylines and stuff at the thing. So new storylines, new champions. So Thunder Rosa, yeah. I'm literally, you were hearing me fight with myself out loud. So I'm going Thunder Rosa, and again, I said that was real quick. That was not. So this one, hopefully quicker, even though this will be the main event of the night. I think this is going to be a hell of a match. We have Hangman Adam Page against Adam Cole for the AEW World Championship. I'm weirdly excited to see what comes out of the night because of the ROH thing and everything like that. Do they end the night cleanly with whoever wins? Is there some type of debut or somebody shows up? I'm all over the place because technically Kenny Omega could be coming back soon. In wrestling, they always tell you it's going to be longer than it is. So he's somebody that could come out of nowhere and show up here. There's a lot of other names that have been rumored in the past. I'm not going to push all that Bray Wyatt shit and everything like that like I want to.
Not again.
But
don't give me hope again.
I am going to go Adam Cole. I think wins the title. I think we end the night with Adam Cole win the title. And I think this kind of starts a whole huge thing with all the Bullet Club stuff from Impact and ROH involved, and ROH is now an Impact, and New Japan is in Impact, and New Japan's in AEW. I think Adam Cole is a perfect fit for everything because this guy he hasn't wrestled in Impact, right? He hasn't been an Impact guy, and it's not the same
ever.
And
no.
Hangman literally has the same connection. So the fact that I'm saying this, but like Adam Cole is a bigger deal in ROH than Hangman was. Adam Cole was the somewhat leader of the Bullet Club at some point.
He's like the American leader, yeah.
So like he makes this a big deal out of all this, and when you get a returning Kenny Omega and Jay White and Adam Cole and Tama Tonga and all these guys fighting for supremacy of the Bullet Club, I think Adam Cole fits in that thing, and I think the AEW Championship being centered around it brings a lot more out of the AEW title than having Hangman in a side storyline. And it's kind of like the WWE thing. I don't like saying the title needs to be in it, but the title makes that storyline a hell of a lot more interesting. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going with Adam Page.
Yeah.
I think he's on a dominant run. I think he needs at least one more win title defense to not necessarily cement him. I'm happy with his reign so far. I think he's had a really decent reign, especially fucking being Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. I think that cemented it like beyond anything. And then he had a good match with Lance Archer too. But I think Page wins. I think he just continues like a little more of a dominant run before eventually being taken out by Rotunda.
By Rotunda, really.
I'm just saying. I think that movie has to be done filming at this point, man. Like I don't know how long it takes to fucking film a horror movie.
See now,
I mean, you can hit me up. I'll be a body in the background. I'm
of the mindset here, and I think I said this to you a long time ago. And for those of you watching, oh my god, I didn't even do that right. I said this to you a long time ago. Thunder Rosa is going to win the title, and the next champion is Adam Cole. So they both sit in here. Yeah. It makes the Revolution a big deal because you got the 2 title changes. But I think Hangman can lose the title quicker than other guys have. Because he is more the future. Yeah, I don't think this is his main title run. I think this was... Had they not signed the guys they did, right? Had AEW not brought in Danielson and Cole and all these guys, right? And they still were a growing company behind Page and Darby and MJF. And had this still been building towards that, I think Hangman gets more of a long, impressive run here. The idea was to put it on him, but now you have too many other guys right now, and I think you put the belt on Cole, and he gets a long run because now you get Cole against Punk, you get Cole against Danielson, you get Cole against Omega, you get Cole against Jay White, you get Cole against everybody and anybody, and that's where you kind of you have him run through. And it's no knock on Hangman, but Adam Cole has that WWE NXT AEW crossover appeal. You know, when he came to NXT, everybody's like, "Oh, he's an indie guy. He's not going to," you know, and then he just took that shit over. You know,
yeah, it was his.
He catches you off guard because he's not like when they brought in, you know, even like a Samoa Joe, when they brought in Finn Balor, they brought in Kevin Owens, they brought in
even Robert Roode.
Yeah, and Nakamura. They brought in these guys that were almost bigger than NXT, and it was like, all right, this is a temporary stop. And it's not to say Adam Cole's not that, but he's like, you know, and his body type gets a lot of slack. I mean, Kevin Owens is a heavy set guy, so it's not.
Yeah.
But like, you basically get this guy who's almost unassuming, and then he comes in and he just tears the house down with his matches, and then he wins matches, and you're like, you want to say, oh, he only wins because of the help, but then he wins in spite of the help. It's almost like a reverse MJF, where he takes the help because he doesn't need it. Like, we know as wrestling fans, we watch MJF and we're like, okay, you know, he could win matches, but that's not what they're going with here. They want every single one of his matches to be tainted. Like you said, until he finally wins that big clean one, that's almost his role right now, is to win everything as unclean as possible, and it's fine. Because he just wants to rub everybody's face in it. Adam Cole has that about him where you watch him and you're like, oh, he needs help, until he doesn't. And then he wins, and then you're like, oh, okay. This is just a guy trying to make it easier on himself to have all this backup. Not
like, why not take
the
help?
He's like, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying kind of thing. It's not like a... So I think right now, with the ROH crossover, and we have just talked about it. We have not gotten into it yet. So I can't even say what I talked about because we haven't talked about it yet. But I just feel like it's a nice new era of AEW to kind of come out with the Thunder Rosa, Adam Cole, potentially Red Dragon champion switch.
Yeah, listen, this is another one where I would like Adam Page's reign to go longer, but I think he's gonna win it again, so I'm not even concerned about that. And I would jump for joy if Adam Cole wins, legitimately. Clean, bad, whatever. I'm just gonna be super pumped. I think that's a seal of the deal as well for Cole. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with Page, but maybe hope for Cole.
Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, so like I said, we went a little bit over. I was hoping 40. I had 40 minutes written down. We went a little bit over on the Punk and MJF. We're at about 50 minutes. It's not too bad. Yeah. So so I will say quickly and honestly that went pretty good. So here's hoping for a great show. It's going to be a great show. If you're listening to this and you're on the borderline, definitely watch it on Sunday night. So on that note, we'll see you when we see you.